What is good, guys? Welcome to another video and welcome back to my garage. This one's going to be kind of just a quick little modification for the car. I really don't have anything else to film. I got done washing the car a little bit ago, and as you can see, it's all nice and shined up, ready for the weekend. We're going to take the car out tomorrow morning early. I don't know where the road's going to take us, but we're just going to go out for a quick rip. Before we get into all that, I'm going to install what I just got in the mail from today's video sponsor. Big shout out to Eric at Supreme Power out in California. Sent me this package. Basically hit me up on Instagram and said, hey, we got a new product we'd like you to try out because we know you're a big fan of the BBS E88 wheels, and these are made for those wheels. So we're gonna unbox them and then check out what's in the box, install them on the car, and just see how they look. So let's just get into the unboxing. All right, let's see what we got here. Ah, very nice. What? Some Supreme Power swag? No way. Hell yeah. All right, let's see what we got here. So supposedly these are new for the BBS E88s. They just manufactured these. And it's going to be a small little change to the wheels, but at the same time, it's going to change up the look for the better, I think. All right, so check this out. What we're looking at right here is the new style center cap adapter for the BBS E88s. As you can see, they've got kind of like a half pipe shape flange right here. So it's similar to like what you would find on like a Bootsy gear center cap. The only difference is these bolt onto the face of the wheels. So it's a better mounting option than having the Bootsy gear style where it kind of clamps on from the inside. So I think what these are over here are the old style. So we can do a quick comparison of the old ones versus the new ones. Now, I didn't know this, but when I spoke to Eric, he said that, all right, new, old. These are what I have on the car right now. And so the flange style, it looks like it might even push the center cap up a few millimeters away from the face of the wheel, which is going to be kind of cool. But just a small little change. I think it's going to look real trick. It's going to give it some contrast. So let's get these center caps off, and then we'll get some center caps installed. But once again, huge shout out to this man right here for hooking me up and letting me try these out. All right, so for those of you who are familiar with BBS E88s, they are not meant to be run with center caps because it's like a motorsport wheel. So what Eric and his team over there at Supreme Power have done is they made these adapter rings to bolt onto the front of the BBS E88 face so that you can run a center cap. I think the size of the center cap for these are 70.1 millimeters, if I'm not mistaken. And they just bolt on, because for whatever reason, maybe somebody could chime in the comments, but the E88s have provisions for these. And what are they, 6 by 1.0, maybe? Socket head cap screws. So these holes are actually threaded, and you could bolt whatever you want on there. And so they've made these center cap adapters so that you could run a center cap on the BBS E88 and the wheel doesn't look as naked as without a center cap. So obviously it's a simple bolt on, just like that. And what you want to do, and what I did before, was there's actually anti-seize on these bolts so they don't get frozen in the wheel. Fail. So these socket head hex screws, these aren't actually the factory ones, but I'm using these because I picked these up from Fastenal a couple weeks ago. And they're a flat, instead of being a button nose style, they're flat. I kind of dig that look a little bit better. And they don't have to be Superman tight. All right, and the center cap just pops out. And I try to line it up with the valve stem, but these white center caps that I got recently, for some reason they like to spin. Oh look, I cut myself. Awesome. Boom. Yes, these don't spin. Ha. So there it is. Very nice. Love it. Looks super clean. For comparison, what I'm going to do is move to the rear where the old style center cap adapter is still installed. Just get a comparison. I don't know about y'all, but I dig that. That looks really good. Hell yeah, let's get the other ones installed, and then be checking back in tomorrow morning when we're ready to take the car out. You know, sometimes it's just like the little modifications that make all the difference. This is a tiny little mod that is going to change the way that I'm used to seeing the car. And so, in my mind, it's like, all right, well, small modification, but big impact. You know what I mean? I like the modifications that you don't have to stress over. I like the modifications that you don't have to take your engine out to install. You know what I mean? This is just a fun little Friday night install. As simple as 3 little bolts getting screwed into a wheel. It's fun. Man, I really like the way that flange looks on there. It's awesome. Dig it. Like it. And I like the fact that my center caps are held in tightly now. They don't spin around. So I like to have the BBS lined up with the valve stem. It's awesome. I think that looks way cleaner. A lot cleaner. It's like it kind of blends in with the face now. I love it. Shout out to Eric at Supreme Power. Thanks, buddy. And welcome back to the inside of my car. This one's just going to be a chill video. I've got to run a few errands today. Maybe head out to the Omega boutique to check out the new Omega Speedmaster that came out last month. I called them yesterday and they said that they have one for exhibition only, and I could maybe put my name on the list, but I just want to check it out to see if it's anything, if it's even anything that I want to really just buy. So we might head out there and we're just going to go on a quick adventure today. First step though is coffee, so we'll be headed out to grab some coffee. So I know I said that the next video was going to be the toolbox tour, but honestly I just haven't had any time to film anything really. Been really busy the last couple of weeks, pulled in a lot of side jobs in the garage and everything, so just been concentrating on that. So yeah, this is the first video. This is the first chance I've actually even had to film anything, and so I just want to put something out there. Another vlog video. Sun's coming up. It's a nice 47 degrees outside, so boost weather is in full effect. So let's get this warmed up and then ready to go. God, I love this car. So good. This car is so awesome. You should definitely buy one. Tires are still definitely cold. This thing runs so well when it's cold outside. Jeez. All right. All right, y'all, we got like about an hour, like 45 minutes before the store opens up, so just try to grab some breakfast inside and then kind of try to be the first one there, and then just check out the watch, see what's up with it, and then we'll be checking in once we get in the store. I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to record in the store, so I don't even, that's kind of weird if I did that. So we'll just I'll just drop some information on it and then see if it's something that I even really want. But yeah, I'm hungry. So, all right, y'all. I'm so juiced right now. They had the watch in stock. I went in there, got it in hand. We're gonna head back home. I'm gonna do an unboxing, but it was like completely unexpected. They had the watch in stock. They showed me the piece, and I was like, all right, well, this is for exhibition only, correct? And the dude was like, no, actually, we have one for sale because one of the clients that had lined up for it had backed out of it. So lucky for me, you know, I showed up when I did, and I was able to get the watch. I mean, granted, I don't know how limited these are. It's an Omega Speedmaster, and so, you know, there's a dime a dozen, but this being the newest model of it, the first Omega in space, it's you know, it's kind of, I guess it's kind of tough to get right now, but yeah, I got one. We're gonna head home. We're going home right now. I'm gonna do an unboxing and go over the watch, but I know this is not like a watch channel, a timepiece channel, but I am into watches. It is another one of my hobbies, as you can see, but right now I'm just slowly building my collection, and I've always wanted a Speedmaster. I just never pulled the trigger on one because, you know, there's so many variants of it, you know. The Moon Watch, the first Omega in space, a bunch of vintage models, the white face professional, that one's really nice. But anyway, we'll get into all that when we get home. We're gonna do an unboxing. We'll be checking in then. All right, y'all. I'm gonna do a quick unboxing of the new watch. Omega Speedmaster, first Omega in space. Out of the box. It's my warranty paperwork, invoice, all the good stuff. Sorry if there's a little bit of background noise. My neighbor is leaf blowing right now. Sorry if that's coming through, but just wanted to get this opened up and on wrist. What I will say about this piece, Omega, is that this box is really, really nice. This is a really nice box. I've bought Rolexes before, and by far this is the best box that I have seen in the watch space. I mean, just look at that. Here's the piece. I'm so jazzed that I got this thing. It's the first Omega in space. The thing that's special about this watch, and the reason why I wanted it, is because I've always wanted a Speedmaster, and I never pulled the trigger on one because I just didn't know which model to get, because there were so many variants of it. You know, you could get the Speedmaster Professional Moon Watch. It's a similar layout as this, and you have your choice between like a sapphire sandwich case or a Hesalite crystal. And you also have different dials that you can get, like the Speedmaster White Face. That one is really cool too. And there's a bunch of vintage ones that you could also choose from. There's also a, what is it, a green dial with a gold band and case, and that one is really sharp, but it's also like, I think $38,000, $40,000. So for a Speedmaster, you know, I wanted something that was kind of timeless and classic, but I didn't want to get a model that had the Hesalite crystal, because Hesalite scratches very easily, and with as clumsy as I am and how I beat up my watches and wear them and actually use them, you know, it runs a high risk of scratching the Hesalite. So what's cool about this is you get the vintage dial with the, they call it a faux Tina, sticks on the dial, and when this thing glows, there's actually like a vintage lume to it. You get the sapphire crystal that's shaped and formed like the Hesalite crystal that you would find on like a traditional, you know, original moon watch. It doesn't have the sapphire showcase in the back, but instead it has, you know, what you would find on a mission ready timepiece. So the first Omega in space, October 3rd, 1962. I don't know if that's gonna focus in, but so it also doesn't have the crown guard for the pushers, so that's very vintage looking too. As you can see, it's on the newer ones, they have like extra metal that comes out to protect these crowns and everything. So this model doesn't have that, and it's staying true to the original form. So when this came out, I kind of knew that, all right, well, I gotta get it because this thing is just badass. And it looks really good in person. They sized it for me at the store. In terms of, you know, Omega, buying from the boutique, I will have to say that the customer service was not there. Buying this, it was like kind of like a spur of the moment type thing, but when you buy something like this, you're kind of going not only for the product, but you're going for the experience, because, you know, getting into watches and everything, it's an expensive hobby. I mean, at least it is for me. When they said that they had this one available, I just had to jump on it. So here it is in the flesh. They sized it for me. I'm gonna go through the operation of the watch. This is what you call a manual wind watch, so it's not automatic. You have to wind it every day, whereas like, actually it has a 50-hour power reserve, I believe, but compared to my sub that we have here, like when you wind an automatic watch, I mean, if you're not into watches, this is kind of like a quick rundown, but when you wind an automatic watch, like the sub, you wind it up and you set the time, and then the seconds hand starts ticking, and then just as long as you move your wrist around, move your hand around throughout the day, it'll stay energized and stay charged. Whereas a manual watch, you know, since this thing went to space, you know, gravity, kinetic motion like that, it won't keep it charged. So you can't have an automatic watch in space because of the lack of gravity. So being true to that, this is a manual watch, so you wind it. And I can say right now that just winding this thing, it feels like a very, very precise instrument. So you gotta be careful with these because you could break the spring if you go too far. So I'm just going very slowly with it right now until I feel resistance and feel it stop. And then when it stops, you know that it's fully wound. But you can hear the tick, 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 tick as you wind it. And see right there, I could forcefully turn it more, but I'm not going to. But that's when it stopped. And you got your seconds dial on the left right there. It has started moving, as you see. So all that's left to do now that it's wound is to set the time. And to do that, we pull out the crown and then we set the time. It is 1:03 p.m. Not like the PM, AM, PM matters because this doesn't have a date on it, but we'll set it to 1:03. Boom, good to go. The chronograph, you got your start button here. The chronograph is really cool on this thing. Start button here, and then stop button here, and then to reset it is just the bottom crown, or the bottom pusher right there. But as you see, that white seconds hand right there. Very cool watch, very cool watch. I really like this thing. Let's try it on. So compared to something like my sub, like when I wear this, I know that I'm wearing it because it's always, it's got a nice weight to it, and it's very apparent on wrist. Whereas this, it's very sleek, it's very slender, and it wears very nicely. Like if I didn't know that I was wearing it, I would be fooled to think that, okay, well, I don't have anything on. It just feels very comfortable. It looks very nice, very classy, if you ask me. But yeah, so this is an exciting day for me. I picked up my first Speedmaster. What started out as just a morning jaunt in the 997 Turbo ended up being a pretty expensive day. I'll be transparent with everybody. This cost me, I didn't get any kind of discounts. Obviously, buying it from a Omega boutique. They're going to charge you MSRP, which was $7,900 before taxes. I think out the door it was somewhere in the neighborhood of $8,300. So it is kind of a expensive price to pay for such a weird hobby, but it is a hobby of mine. And as I said before, this channel is by no means a watch centralized channel. However, if you guys are interested in seeing some of my other timepieces, I only really have one other one, but if you want me to make a specific video on my other watches, I can do that and just showcase them. But I feel like the new Speedmaster is going to be getting a lot of wrist time. This was my go-to, the Rolex Submariner, for such a long time, but as you can see, it's patinaed up pretty well. But I think now that I have the Speedmaster, I'm going to be reaching for that every time I want to put on a wristwatch. Anyway, I hope that this video was somewhat informative and interesting to see. I'm just going to end this one here. The next one will be the toolbox tour, but I just want to thank everybody for making it this far in the video and sharing my experience buying a new timepiece. All right, peace.